Welcome to Mind and Soul Matters. I'm Farah Feeney. Through conversations with everyday people, Mind and Soul Matters aims to broaden our understanding of mental health and spirituality, and to deepen our insights into the challenges and meaning of our lives. Adolescence is a crucial period of a person's life, as day by day they are becoming increasingly exposed to the forces of society. How can young people be empowered to make positive moral choices? How can they contribute meaningfully to their communities? What are the ingredients that help navigate young people through this critical period? We are fortunate to have Jacob Barron, a graduate with honours in mathematics and physics, share with us his personal story and his involvement with a program aimed at answering these important questions and helping empower young people. Throughout the episode, we will also hear from various young people involved in this program as they share their personal experiences and highlights. Welcome, Jacob. So excited to have you here to talk about empowering young people.
Thanks, Farah. Excited to be here as well.
In society, when we talk about youth issues or look at the statistics on youth mental health, it can be concerning and even disheartening. However, we also know it's a period where young people develop a sense of justice and altruism. Tell us about your experience, Jacob, as a teenager and how you became involved with the Junior Youth Spiritual Empowerment Program.
Yeah, you're right. The period of 12 to 15 in someone's life is particularly turbulent, and I wasn't an exception to that. I was probably a little bit of an awkward teenager in a sense, as many teenagers are. But, I really loved sport and I loved spending time with my friends and that kind of thing. And that's actually where my involvement with the Junior Youth Spiritual Empowerment Program started. I had some friends in primary school and then high school that I would often meet up with, and we would often after school meet up and play soccer at the park. And, I knew about the Junior Youth Program because every Saturday at 5 p.m, my friends would suddenly have to go. They'd have to go back to their house because they had some youth group going on. But, as mentioned before, I didn't have the courage to actually say, oh, can I come? And so it was a little bit interesting because I always wanted to go to this group that they had. I always wanted to feel part of something. But then they never invited me because I think they were nervous to invite me. And then I was also nervous to say, hey, invite me, guys. But then one day we were playing soccer and then one of my friends said that he had to go, and he was like, oh yeah, I think his parents has sort of encouraged him to invite me as well. So he very nervously said, hey, Jacob, if you want to come as well, you're welcome to. And I jumped at the chance and went down. And my friends were from a Malaysian Indian background. So I wasn't really sure what kind of youth group it was. And I actually expected that it was like a Hindu youth group or something like of that nature. So I expected to walk in and there'd be, a number of youth my age from Indian background and, but then actually going, it was a very multicultural group. There were people from all different places around the world. And that was kind of my first exposure to the Junior Youth Spiritual Empowerment Program, or otherwise known as the JY program for short. The first session, we looked at some material to do with the harmony between science and religion. And that was really eye-opening for me, just this conception that science and religion aren't necessarily opposed to each other and they can actually complement each other. And so for me, that piqued my interest. And I started coming back and came back every week, to hang out with my friends, have these deep conversations and be part of the group. One of the key parts of the Junior Youth Program are texts that are really discussion-based. So it encourages the junior youth to explore what they're interested in and have these conversations on things that matter. These discussions were probably the highlight for me. I'm very thankful that my parents encouraged me to always think about how can I make the world a better place and what would the best world that we want to live in, what would that look like? And, so to have a space like a junior youth group where where we were encouraged to have those conversations and, think about things from different perspectives and, think about how different people around the world approach these issues, it was actually very, very meaningful and meant a lot to me.
So what is the Junior Youth Spiritual Empowerment Program?
Yeah, so I guess fundamentally the Junior Youth Program is centered around a group, and it's for 12 to 15-year-olds, and it's a group of friends that meet however regularly, often once or twice a week, and, have these discussions about like how can they as junior youth improve themselves and also give back to society. The spearhead of the group is an animator, which is an older youth that I guess looks after the group and like manages the discussions and that kind of thing. So then that older youth is maybe 19 or 20. I was participating in the junior youth program for a number of years. And then the junior youth group stopped when I was about 15, because then we moved on to these other courses that are sort of like a flow on and aim at empowering people to give back to their society. And as we get older as youth, maybe we can have our own junior youth groups and, contribute in other ways, in more advanced ways. And so I think then my involvement in the junior youth program became stronger, because I thought, okay, this isn't just something that I can participate in and go to once a week, but it's actually something that I can really be part of, and could potentially have my own group.
I've been doing JY for about a year. I find it really fun and exciting. I've learnt a lot, and I've had a lot of meaningful conversations with my friends. We talk about issues related to bullying and dealing with different friendship issues. I've met a lot of new people since my friends have brought their friends, and it's been an incredible experience so far for me, and I enjoy it a lot.
I'm Leah. I'm 13 and I've been participating for just over a year in JY. One of the things I loved about it is seeing the animators and the other JY members every week, because they are all really nice. I've also enjoyed going to the camps, which is something that our group did. The camps are so much fun, and it's not like I'm being taught. It's just like being with my friends. And I don't see the animators like teachers, I see them like older sisters.
So when we use the term spiritual empowerment, what does that mean in terms of this group?
Yeah, so spiritual empowerment in the context of the junior youth program is really around empowering these young people that have a lot of hope for the future, a lot of altruism, and, they have a sense of justice that they really want to, make the world a better place, really giving them the tools to be able to do that in the most effective ways. It's interesting when I've had a lot of conversations with junior youth over a number of years, and I've realized that if you ask any junior youth, do we think the world can be a better place? They almost always say yes. But then when you ask adults the same question, there's a lot of hesitancy and this empowerment to view everyone as a noble being, and that everyone really can make a difference, and everyone has this inherent desire within them to make a difference. So I guess when we talk about spiritual empowerment, what we talk about is the junior youth program is really centered on key concepts, like for a junior youth to effectively contribute to society. It helps to have these concepts in the back of their mind. For example, that everyone's noble, that if I put in effort, then I will be, supported in that we should strive for excellence. The junior youth program is a Baha'i-inspired program. It references Baha'i quotes. It's more about what are the key principles we can take from these quotes, and then how can we apply them to our lives and the lives of the community.
Hi, I'm Micah. I'm 15 and I've been participating in the JY program for over 3 years. One of the things I have loved about the Junior Youth program is meeting new people, as well as the topics we've been learning about in the texts. We talk about ideas like confirmation and setting noble goals for our future. I think it is really great that we have a place to talk about meaningful things with people that are the same age as me. Everyone is really open-minded and from different backgrounds, and they all contribute to the conversation in their own way, and it's an opportunity to learn from others, and everyone gets to share their perspective. Something I appreciate is that the animators choose to spend their time with me and the other group members, even though they have their own busy lives. One of the ways the Junior Youth program has impacted me is in planning my future and influencing me to do well in school and university.
So some of the elements you've already talked about is that it's a group that come together for 12 to 15-year-olds, and there's an animator, kind of like an older youth that acts as almost like a role model and facilitates the group. Is there any other elements to the group that achieves the goals?
There's a number of activities that the junior youth do in their group, and because when they meet up, it's fundamentally a group of friends that meet up, and then the animator is an older friend in a sense that supports these young people in the journey. But when they meet up, as mentioned before, they study some texts that stimulate discussion around like a variety of different like ethical issues, moral issues, and they're all based around a story. So, for example, one of the texts called Glimmerings of Hope is based in a village in Africa where there's a 12-year-old in a village that framed in the context of an ethnic conflict. So there's a group on his side, and then they offer to give him guns and weapons to be able to fight back and join their army. And he has to grapple with these ethical issues of like, if someone has hurt me, should I hurt them back? Mm-hmm. And, these kind of things. And then it, relates it back to maybe the junior youth context in terms of if someone hurts them at school, does that mean give them justification to then hurt that person back? Or if someone tells lies about them, does that mean that they should tell lies about their friend? So I guess that's one of the central parts of the program, is getting the junior youth thinking about these kind of ideas. But then another key aspect of the program is service. So, like not just viewing these ideas in a theoretical sense, but really going, okay, what are the problems that we see in our society? And then how can we help construct our neighborhood to be a better place? In one of the groups, we started off with something rather simple when they were younger, in that we went around and we wanted to collect non-perishable food items for food bank, because that was something that the junior youth wanted to do. So that was more simple in the sense that it just required us to go and talk to everyone we knew and then collected a heap of things, and then we went and dropped it off at food bank. But then, like the idea is that you do service projects over the years that build confidence in the junior youth, such that when the junior youth were almost 15, we planned and executed a class for children. We had a festival where we invited a heap of kids from the neighborhood and, had some activities, and the junior youth got themselves to experience what it's like teaching a class for children, what it's like running activities and games, and I guess them being protagonists in their own path of service rather than like me as an animator driving things forward.
Wonderful. That sounds amazing. And it sounds like it's something that's almost driven by the youth, the junior youth. It's kind of them coming up with the ideas, them identifying what are the needs in their community, and really for them to start thinking about the world around them and what they're studying or reading or discussing, starting to apply that in their own personal life.
I have been participating in JY for 3 years. And during the pandemic in 2020, my JY group decided on a service project that would help entertain the elderly in nursing homes and make them feel less lonely. We chose to make a video of us reading a book, like an audiobook, but with clips of us sitting in our homes, sometimes in costumes, reading. The book we chose to read was James and the Giant Peach by Roald Dahl, as it is a good size, easy to read, and entertaining for the young and old. So from there, we divided up the chapters, making sure there was a rotation of reader for each chapter, so the elderly would not get bored of watching one person read 10 chapters at once. So over the next few weeks, during lockdown, we read our parts in our homes with costumes optional. Once we got all our recordings together, we sent them to one of our JY, whose family helped edit it all together. Finally, we all got it sent to us to be checked, and from there, we decided on a few local nursing homes to send it to. As you know, during the time of COVID restrictions, people are more isolated than ever. We have read this story for people who wanted to hear a friendly voice and see a friendly face.
I think that's one of the really cool things about the program, is that the groups are really driven by the junior youth themselves. So yeah, I guess the junior youth program is certainly not simply a class or a course that the junior youth do, but it's really trying to create a supportive network for people that are in that age group.
And that fits in very much with some of the research and some of what the experts say. One of my favourite authors and family psychologists is Steve Bidulph, and he has numerous books. And one of the things that he talks about, he actually talks specifically about this age group. And he talks about this age group as a period where the young person is to find their spark, to find their soul. And he talks about it as a stage when a young person finds out who they are and what they really want and what matters to them. And how he defines a soul is very interesting to me. He defines the soul, and I will quote from one of his books, "A soul is a place inside you where you know what's right and what's wrong. Soul is the real you. And when you're being true to yourself, it feels right, even if nobody around you even begins to understand." And some of these concepts, to me, seem like they really fit in with what the junior youth group is about. And he also goes on to say what parents can do to develop the young person's soul. And some of the things he says is one of them is to find the right people to bring into the young person's life. So again, this is about the group that the junior youth form. It's finding the right people. And he also talks about what are the activities that help feed the soul. And I find these really interesting too, because again, these fits in with exactly what the junior youth program is. And the activities are things that are non-competitive, the things that are reflective, the things that are cooperative, being in nature, reading books, reflecting on the world around us. These are the things that feed the soul. And the other one is having a role model, which is the junior youth animator.
Yeah.
So to me, it seems like they're the ingredients that are part of this junior youth group.
Both my kids have been involved in the junior youth program. My son's been doing it for 3 years and he's nearly 15. And my daughter, she's 12, has recently started with her group of friends. What I've loved about this junior youth program is that it takes all these beautiful altruistic qualities of this age group and helps to encourage and build upon them. So I can see with the various service projects that my son's group's been involved with, that it has helped develop in them a keen understanding of what contributing to one's community looks like and how they have this potential and power to bring about change for the better. And whilst doing this, the bonus is that they're working together, consulting together and learning to overcome challenges. And the main thing to remember is not every service project goes according to plan, and an important element is to reflect on these setbacks and see them as learning opportunities. And I think all of these are such valuable life skills to develop. And currently, my daughter comes home from her JY group super excited about the various things they've been talking about, and she's making lists about how they can contribute and be of service to those around them. So it's definitely an exciting time, and I can see so much enthusiasm and energy generated from it.
As we've talked about the junior youth program, we've touched on some of the things that are parts of it, the ingredients of this group, and also some of the things that it hopes to achieve. Is there any other aims that we haven't talked about?
Yeah, another aim of the junior youth program is to develop the junior youth's powers of expression, meaning their ability to express themselves, and if they're feeling something, to know how to constructively put forth their emotions. And, we can see that that's so important because a lot of violence or delinquent behavior or this kind of thing that junior youth often perpetrate is a lot of the time based on their inability to really express themselves properly and to, they feel like they're not being listened to. And so the junior youth program really aims to allow people to develop this ability to express themselves through, drama activities, through, I guess, the discussions themselves, trying to allow everyone to speak. And the way that the study of the materials often takes place is sitting in a circle and everyone is on equal footing and everyone can share how they feel. So it's not a classroom setting. We had the opportunities to liaise with, council members and to talk about something. How do I say it in a constructive manner? So that's another key aim of the program that I think is really powerful. And the program's so comprehensive. That's why I'm struggling. For me, I think it's actually amazing the way that all of these things are seamlessly integrated into, just a program for 12 to 15-year-olds that actually anyone can be part of and anyone can lead. building the capacity of youth as well to be meaningful contributors and to give back is one of the key aims. And that actually through being a role model or trying to be a role model for younger youth, that's actually how we can develop as well as older youth.
And one of the things I love about the program that's coming through from what you're saying is that this junior youth empowerment program rests on a different set of assumptions about the nature of adolescence. In society, sometimes adolescence is seen as a period of where young people are self-centered and rebellious, and then therefore they live up to that. Whereas this program looks at this critical period, junior youth, young adolescents, as a period where they're internally altruistic and noble, and therefore they become that. Jacob, if people want to find out more about this program, how can they do that?
We're based in Perth, Australia, and for anyone in Australia, there's this website, www.junioryouth.org.au. And, I'm sure that there are other similar websites for those that are based internationally. So, Googling Junior Youth Spiritual Empowerment Program, Canada or India or wherever you're located would probably be the best way to find out more. And if you are interested in, if you're a parent listening and you think that the program would be great for you, if you're a youth listening that's thinking, oh, maybe I should get involved with the program, I would really recommend that you do so. When I, as I mentioned earlier, when I first got involved, I had no idea what it was, but really this program has, both as a participant and as a facilitator, had a profound impact on me as a person. So please get involved.
Wonderful. Thank you so much, Jacob. I've really enjoyed listening and finding out more about what this Junior Youth Empowerment Program is, and it's been wonderful to have you on.
Thanks very much, Farah.
I'd also like to thank our listeners and our great team who work behind the scenes to bring Mind and Soul Matters to you. If you wish to keep up to date with new episodes, follow Mind and Soul Matters on social media and subscribe for free on your preferred podcast app. You can find us on most platforms and on our website, mindandsoulmatters.podbean.com. Think of two friends that might enjoy Mind and Soul Matters and share with them. For any comments or questions, email mindandsoulmatters@gmail.com. Look forward to your company next time.